Hey gang, welcome to Coffee Break TV. If you're new, please comment, like, and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you down below in the comment section. So let's see what's new.
This is my kitchen. My favorite room in the house. I love to bake.
People ask me, what's it like being an appraiser? Well, some days I get to do houses like this that are our former hoarder's house. This is the kitchen, or what's left of it. But the best part is over here. We get to the bathroom. That's a toilet, folks. That's a sink. That's a tub.
One of my worst properties of all times, literally, was a property that I purchased over in Marietta. This property literally, guys, no exaggeration, had dead rats in it. Dead rats, dead cats, you know what I mean, in the property. And when we started basically cleaning it up, right, under all of the rubbish, we thinking it's personal items and personal belongings and things like that. It wasn't. It was actual trash. So the lady decided to stop paying for the sanitational services within the area and was just piling it up in her house. And because of that, man, there was so many rats and stuff in the house that the cats that was there was attacking and killing the rats and taking them outside. They was leaving them there. But that property, I was actually able to, I purchased it for like $270, put about another $120 into it. I was able to sell it for like $510. So I actually made, after all buying costs, holding costs, and selling costs, I was actually able to make close to 6 figures off that property right there. So that's the benefit. That's the reward at the end of the day. It was one of my worst, but one of my most profitable, guys.
All right, TikTok, I'm about to show y'all a clip of this hoarder house that I'm in, bro. I'm out the street, quit 1-800 got junk, but I'm about to show y'all what we working on, bro. Next clip.
Yo, this is, oh my gosh, bro.
Me to do 10 hours worth of cleaning. And this client hoards food, so a good chunk of what you see are groceries that were never put away. And when I saw that the very first thing I picked up expired in 2015, I knew it was going to be a long fucking day. You might be wondering why I didn't just throw everything away. While it was tempting, I also knew this was all the food they had. It was really important for me to go through and save what I could. And what kept me going through the day was trying to find the oldest thing I could, which, funny enough, ended up being this Tony's that expired in 2013. One thing this client wanted was to be able to use this back door again. Once we got over here, she felt way better about all the stuff we were throwing away. Anytime I'm doing a hoarding clean, I make sure I'm really mindful of the client's feelings, because I know that no hoarder really wants to get rid of their stuff. Sometimes they can actually be really resistant. So in situations like this, I always make sure I ask before I throw something away. I let the client know that they can keep or get rid of whatever they want. I'll work with whatever they have, so there's never any pressure to get rid of a bunch of stuff. But luckily, this client was cool with it. I will be coming back for the other rooms in the house, but in the kitchen alone today, we went through at least 20 trash bags. I did slack at wearing my mask today, but in areas like this with a lot of cat pee residue, you better believe I'm wearing that bitch. If you saw one of my last videos about all the stuff I get for my free clean, you may know that I got some extra stuff to leave with this client, including some flea traps, some air fresheners, and some fresh clean scrub mommies. And anytime I post one of my free cleans, somebody's asking how it got like this. And like I said, this client is a hoarder. Hoarding disorder is a mental illness that affects about 3% of the population. Looks different for each person, but it usually involves having an excess amount of something, like food, electronics, animals, and even trash. And it isn't always set off by something, but certain things like depression and grief can trigger for somebody to start hoarding stuff and having trouble getting rid of that stuff. And something else that impacts someone's susceptibility to hoarding is age. This client has personally wanted to get rid of stuff for a while, but they're 80 years old and live alone, which was the most sad part for me, honestly, knowing that this is somebody's grandma and that they felt so hopeless in their situation for so long. It made me all the more grateful to be there now. I'll go ahead and save you the pain of watching me do dishes for 2 hours. Luckily, I had this client to keep me company because we talked the entire time. But after they are all done, I give this sink a good scrub with some Dawn dish soap and Barkeeper's Friend. Once I'm done scrubbing down the sink, I toss that sponge, dry everything, and finish up with some stainless steel cleaner. Then, of course, we gotta leave her with that clean scrub mommy. At this point, it's getting pretty late, so I move on to wiping down a few more things before I get at those floors. And when you see my ripped hazmat suit in this next clip, it turns out my pack is bigger than I thought. Thankfully, the kitchen had hard flooring, so I was able to use the client's broom. When I come back and do the bathroom, which has carpet, I don't know what I'm gonna use. Because of the fleas, I don't want to use one of my own vacuums, so what I'd really like to do is get this client their own. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. After multiple rounds of disinfectant on these floors, this kitchen is looking great. And more importantly, safe and functional for the client to use.
Hey gang, we're talking about hoarders. Well, messy versus being a hoarder. Which one is it? Is it a family member who no longer can clean up for themselves, who has a mental illness, or is it just the start of collecting different items, food items, maybe even pets, maybe clothing, shopping? What kind of addiction? What triggered that addiction? Have you ran into someone, maybe a family member, a friend, maybe you're even on the other end, you're a real estate investor and you bought a home or even buying a personal home from a hoarder? Have you ever experienced this much stuff in a house, in a location that you are trying to either live, maybe you're just trying to clean out and remodel a home? Have you encountered so much stuff? Maybe you're a cleaner like the lady in the last clip. Maybe you're going to people's homes and helping them clear out some of this clutter in their life. Have you ever experienced this? It's wild. I mean, in my own experience, I have ran into a hoarder. I worked in a situation where I was going to people's homes. I was met at the door with a shotgun. The people thought I was part of the city, coming for more fines. But when I explained my situation, they let me in. They were very nice, but the house was full, over 5 feet, 6 feet tall, of clothing, bags, all kind of things. And they also had pets. So just know that that house just had so much. They probably had all kind of animals in there, between rats, probably roaches, all the things. But in the end, we worked together and came to a solution to make it safe for the person's parent to live there. So they did start cleaning, they did start getting rid of some things, but how long did it last? When you go in and help repair stuff or remove stuff from people, the mental illness has not changed. The mental illness did not go away just because the house got clean. So are we helping them, or are we just, bookmarking it to help them for a short period of time? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever ran into a hoarder? Have you ever ran into a hoarder house? And what was the solution that you provided? All right, let's see what else is new.
No. It's dirty.
Stop showing us your nasty, disgusting, unkept house and then somehow trying to blame the reason why it's dirty and unkept on your children.
Oh my gosh.
I was shocked when I walked into the dining room and found her camouflaged inside the hoard.
Hi.
Hi.
And you're all nestled in.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and my fiance and I, we bought a hoarder's home last May. In my last video, I had shown the house as it stood the day that we got the keys, with a little bit of progress that we had made. I showed that we've had a lot of fun in this progress, but I think this video will highlight some of the work that really we had to put into this place just to obviously make paths to walk, and to clear out some of the rooms. But I also wanted to highlight and tell the story of how we found this house. So my father-in-law was in the market for a house. He knew that we were going to be in the market for a home for ourselves relatively soon. And so he had went on like a random day of the week to go like look at a house, just drive by it on the street, not of like a formal setup or anything. And he caught a neighbor outside of a different home. And the neighbor had said, I think I might have something that you're interested in. And so he drove him down to another neighbor, and it was an older couple who had told him, yeah, they just got possession of this property. Unfortunately, his sister-in-law had passed, so they had received this property only a couple months before, and he was like, yeah, let's go check it out. And so he drove my father-in-law to this property and did not tell him that this was a hoarder's house. However, we, threw out some numbers. We obviously saw the potential. We knew all of the work that had to go into it, but my father-in-law was pretty convinced that my fiance and I, that we could do it. And so that's kind of how we, fell into this property. Some may say that we're crazy. I say that we're still crazy, but we've done the hard part. We have this place completely clean now. These videos definitely show more than what my previous video did because it was so full. I could not record either of the 2 bedrooms. I could not get into that bathroom. Half of our basement we could not get into. It definitely wasn't safe to walk through at certain points, but we did the hard part, and now we really are having fun. A lot of things are falling into place. Visually, it's becoming more aesthetic. It's truthfully not smelly anymore. There were so many animals in and out because unfortunately the previous owner, she did have dementia. She had a condo that she was actually living in because this space was just not functional for her at all. That's not my story to tell. I'm just here to show the progress and the hard work that we're putting into it. But we're having so much fun. We're doing this together. We're learning so much. And we are at a point where we kind of have an end date.
5 months ago, we bought this hoarder house, and we have 1 more month to get it cleaned up. Here is a recap of what we've been working on for the past 5 months. The house came complete with a demon dog in the basement and 1,000 broken appliances. We found a shed full of trash and a bunch of appliances in the yard, and then we found another shed, and that was also full of trash and appliances. We made some scrappers year with all the metal that we gave them, and we had a company come to clear out all of the stuff from the house to reveal everything we had to clean and all the various holes just leading directly into the house from outside. We removed a leaky sunroom, we replaced the roof, we spent millions of dollars at Home Depot, we found a safe, it was empty, we removed a ton of wallpaper, a ton of painted wallpaper, and cleaned all the walls. We had all the paint stripped from the house and the house completely repainted with non-lead paint. We decommissioned a septic tank and had a new sewer line put in. The plaster people came. We painted. The hardwood floors were refinished. We ripped out all the flooring in the kitchen. I painted the kitchen to surprise David.
You little sneak.
David installed a whole new floor in the kitchen. We've cleaned and scraped paint.
How you feeling?
Good. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Let's see if we can.
And will no bitch in my family be no hoarder either. Get the fuck up and clean up and throw this shit in the garbage. Bitch, you got a 1-story house. Why am I walking upstairs to get to the kitchen? I get to the kitchen, you got canned goods sitting on the counter from World War I. To my canned goods don't expire. Yes, the fuck they do. And if they did hold the rats, then ate them. Throw them away. Sentimental value my ass. Bitch, if you don't clean the fuck up, you gonna be sentimental value. I wouldn't have no patience for that type of shit. Y'all be trying to talk to them all nice. I'll go over there. So you mean to tell me this piece of corner in the living room is where you sleep and shit? Get your big nasty ass up. Fuck! You gonna put all that fucking trash in the bathroom? Now you gonna piss in this box? Get the fuck up. Bitch, you got me in here breathing all different types of species and feces? Oh, no. And don't piss me off on cleanup day. We all in the house with hazmat suits on trying to scrape shit off the floor. And you got the nerve to be outside crying, passing out, hyperventilating over a motherfucking book that you got when you first moved in this motherfucker. Somebody you was gonna read it. Bitch, you can't read it. Now I got rat shit all over it. Throw it in the garbage before I knock you in the back of your head. And then the therapist be sitting up there to me. We got to take it easy, guys. We don't want him to have a heart attack and break that. Girl, shut the fuck up, for real. Matter of fact, give me a lighter and some gasoline. Burn this bitch down. I'm going to show a motherfucker a heart attack. Because he was going to have one anyway. He stayed in there. Condemn this bitch. Seriously, I'm not playing like that.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe at Coffee Break TV.